Welcome to Swole Town, population Jinwoo. In the latest episode of Solo Leveling, my man out here going to the hospital because he pretty much had no leg. Well, as far as they knew before, no leg, about lost his life, gets a second chance as the player, and oh my lord, dude's so cut just from pumping stats into his strength and doing exercises every day. These girls had no idea. As I say girls, I mean the nurses had no idea what in the world. Man, this guy was the talk of the talk of the hospital. They're like, wait, have you talked to that man? Have you seen that one patient? Oh my lord. Dude getting chiseled, absolutely pressed in stone. And and of course, funny moment, the girl's like, can I have your number? And you think, and of course, he has no idea. To him, he's like, he feels the same person, just of course, upgraded stats. And it's just an absolute changed being. Even his own sister's like, you look different. You're taller. We've been working out. Okay, all right, I'm going to school. And of course, like I said, he feels like he's the same person, cares about his sister, looking out for her, still, trying to recover in the hospital, getting discharged that day. Oh, getting digits? What? Oh, it must be hospital stuff. All that stuff is foreign to him, but everybody else looks at him like, man, this is a totally different person now, while he still feels the same. Now, it was already established in the previous episodes of how gear in this world works. We already know that even Jinwoo, he was talking about how he would love to get gear as the weakest guy, but then he started to seeing that whatever he tried to spend money on gear, they could break, and he just doesn't have the money for something of that nature. So having this guy come out of nowhere, D rank, and he just is geared up, absolutely has the top of the line, creme de la creme, gear, best looking sword, best looking armor, best shield. It looks shiny. It is brand spanking new. So of course, someone of low stature like that, having gear like that, it's like, yeah, he's into money. He's into money of some sort. And of course, kind of leads into the group that they had joined seems to have betrayed them. Gotta love Jinwoo's intuition where he was saying this doesn't feel right. Comes to pass that they do betray them and try to get them killed off because that guy's gear is amazing. They try to grab it and sell it. They're gonna make money off that. Two, Jinwoo, they promise, oh yeah, we're gonna pay you so much money for being in our team to attract people, only to try to kill them off. Just think of how many times this group has done this. Because they're well coordinated, they've been together for a good time. So more than likely, if they've done run-of-the-mill doing this, like, okay, we're gonna make sure low-level people that we get into our group, yeah, they're not gonna live that long, so we can take their gear, take their stuff, sell it if need be, give it to each other. Like, it would be interesting. It would not surprise me if this team consisted of people that they have done that in the past with, and it just so happens like, you know what, you're good enough to join our team. So yet still here they're like, oh, we got a low-class D rank guy. We have that's gear that's very expensive, and then we have Jinwoo, who is supposed to be the weakest E rank. If this was before his change into being the player, like, he would actually be having an issue here. He wouldn't be able to take on the big spider boss. But now, which of course we have to see next week, now our boy, oh man, he's ready. He's ready to get to it. Now, as far as differences from this episode and the manga, there was a few different things here and there. Some big things that I felt and noticed was, one, the bags that Jinwoo was carrying were more exaggerated. They were definitely a lot bigger. Here they look almost like backpack style, and he's wearing two of them. And now, of course, people keep commenting like, hey, do you need help with that? Those look big. They were way, way big. Like, they definitely exaggerated how big the actual backpacks were. And then he's carrying them like there's no problem. So I definitely feel the manhwa made it look like, okay, he's definitely a lot stronger, because those packs, you as a reader look at them and like, man, that looks pretty big. Visual aid like that means a lot. When they're exaggerated, you're like, oh snap, he's really strong. One of the biggest changes, differences in the manhwa and the actual anime is here Jinwoo says that the regulations are you have to have at least 8 people into a team to go into a dungeon. In the manhwa, it was 10. Which of course doesn't seem like a lot, because it's like, oh, there's just 2 people, that's whatever, not a big deal. I think they made it smaller for the anime, so then that way it was easier to, 2 less people you have to draw, and might be significant later in the actual show. Having 2 less people might be simpler and more important to focus on specific characters, as well as their characteristics and their drawing, even background characters. You don't have just filler guys that's like, who's that? You know. So I think it might be significant later, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal to worry about between 8 people and 10 people. Now, this last part, as far as the difference, might just be a me thing, but one thing that's really different from the anime and the actual manhwa that it comes from, after this transformation of him being actually stronger, built, and honestly, you can kind of see it in this whole episode, he looks drastically different than he did literally an episode ago. We knew him as like a weaker looking guy, scrawny, like, things like that. But of course now he's stronger, he's built. Even his face and his hair just kind of looks like a different person in his transformation. Now, the manhwa kind of kept his face a little bit similar, and the hair more having his face and having the hair more of a dome looking, as he did whenever he was weaker. And he kind of, yes, he's stronger, yes, he's taller, but they kind of did make him look kind of the same, while anime wise it feels like I'm watching 2 different people. Like, he glow, his glow up was like, wait, is this the same guy? Like, this totally looks different. It's necessary as far as in the character development of Jinwoo. Like, you saw him as a weak person. He was the weakest, so-called the weakest E-rank hunter that they know. I mean, I think it's perfectly fine as far as the art style and the way they did it, because the art in this anime is amazing. But I will have to point it out that, okay, he does look more different in the anime than he did in the manhwa. Overall, great episode as always with Solo Leveling, and I'm glad that Jinwoo still has his wits about him, as far as like, this team that we're with doesn't seem right. And come the past, they do betray him. But honestly, Jinwoo's got this. He's got this, boss. It's gonna be nothing. Because at first, even he was starting to feel intimidated, like, man, this is a boss I don't know if I can get. And then he started to realize what is true fear, which is the statue. That he knew that the statues were like, that is true fear. That is truly a boss that can't be defeated. And then he sees this little spider. He's like, yeah, I think I got him. I think I could take him. Builds back and finds his resolve. So he's ready to actually take this thing on, which unfortunately we'll have to wait a whole nother week just to see this battle. Is anything close to the battles that he's had in the past artistically in the show? Man, it's gonna look amazing. Anyway, that's gonna be it. Hope you guys enjoy the analysis. Make sure you guys like the video, make sure you guys are subscribed, and definitely if you want to check out the reaction of this episode, it is on my Patreon. Just sign up, join up, and I'd love to have you guys around. Please take care, be safe, and Lord willing, I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Make sure to check out the extra content on our Patreon page, and thanks to our current patrons.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.